In this video, I will be showing you how to replace thumbsticks on a new model DualShock 4 controller for the Sony PlayStation 4. If you're not sure which version of the controller you have, an easy way to identify it is to power it on and take a look at the touchpad. If the top of it has a horizontal light, you have a new model DualShock 4. If you're seeing no light bar at the top of the touchpad and need to know how to repair an older model DualShock 4, please click the prompt on the screen to refer to that video. For this repair, I'll be using a Phillips 000 screwdriver, a safe open pry tool, and of course, a new thumbstick for the controller. You can find these items at various places on the internet for just a couple of bucks each. Getting started, we're going to remove the 4 screws from the back panel. If it's been a long time since your controller's been opened up, you might notice the seams feel pretty tight and the controller doesn't want to come apart. This is where a safe open pry tool can really come in handy, as you can carefully get between the seams and slowly work the controller open without damaging the casing. Once you've broken the seal, slowly separate the back panel from the front housing. Be careful the attached ribbon cable doesn't yank out of the connecting port. Carefully pull the cable out of the port with your fingertips and set the back panel aside. Disconnect the battery by removing the cable from the port. Using your safe open pry tool, carefully remove the battery tray from the circuit board. Remove the screw holding the motherboard in place. Notice the notch on the top ribbon cable. You should be able to get your fingernail just inside the notch and pull the cable out of the port. You can now remove the motherboard and the attached components from the housing, giving you full access to the thumbsticks. Also, if you need to replace the D-pad or any of the front buttons, you can easily access them by prying up the rubber backing. Remove the damaged thumbstick by pulling up on it as you hold the motherboard in place. Using your new thumbstick, carefully align the port on the bottom of the thumbstick with the stick on the motherboard and push the thumbstick down until you feel it tighten in place. Once secure, turn the motherboard back over and slowly feed the thumbsticks through the holes in the front housing. Don't forget to feed the ribbon cable back through the hole at the top of the chassis. Carefully push the cable back into the port. Put the security screw back in the motherboard and screw it back in place, being careful not to over-tighten. Replace the battery tray, aligning the tray pegs with the openings in the board, and gently press down until it's properly seated. Reconnect the battery cable and place the battery back in the tray. Reconnect the ribbon cable from the light bar to the port just under the left trigger buttons, with the gold tips of the cable facing away from the battery. Slowly align the front and back panels of the controller and make sure to slide the light bar into the slot just above the motherboard. Work your hands around the edge of the controller, applying a little pressure to finish snapping it back together. Finally, replace the 4 screws on the back panel and the repair is complete. Power on the controller, give it a quick test, and you're good to go. Thanks very much for watching, and happy gaming.